Welcome in. And today I'm going to explain why there isn't an easy role, only easy characters in Marvel Rivals, and I'll get straight into it. Now I'll go straight into the most popular reasoning people give is support. People say support is easy. They say, oh, globally everyone agrees. You know, just generally support is the easiest role. Just ignoring the hardest supports in the game. Now if you're the type of person to, no matter what you think, say all supports are easier than every single character in the game, I would just say click off because you're already here with a mind that can't be changed at all. You probably won't listen to other opinions. Now in my opinion, there are some supports that are harder than the vast majority of DPS. Mantis aim, in my opinion, is probably one of the hardest aims in the entire game. I think she's even harder than the vast majority of DPS because not only does she need to DPS with one of the hardest aims as a DPS, but she also needs to heal her team. Granted, it is one of the easier heals in terms of you do it auto, but you still need to balance the leaves on damage boost and heal. And that's a lot of more priorities and a lot of more responsibilities than a lot of DPS. Even more than a lot of tanks in my opinion as well, but not as many tanks. And I really won't agree with anyone who says Scarlet Witch is more difficult than, let's say, a Mantis, a Loki, a Luna. Scarlet Witch aim can get you from 90 degrees. I'm not even joking right there. But remember, I'll put a clip right here of me doing it. Welcome in. And right now this is pretty much the gameplay section. Right here you can see your left click, whatever. Look how long this is. You can get her here, here. You can hit opponents like this.
Well, who's next?
Look how far away I can get while not even looking at her general vicinity. If you say, oh, that's like cloak and dagger aim though, you know, it's like that. Oh, let me just go like here and let me just like test this, right? If it's like cloak and dagger aim, you know, cloak and dagger aim must have gotten nerfed significantly since that. It's at least like one extra body length. But the Scarlet Witch, on the other hand, it's a little bit different story. You can be like all the way, pretty much cross this pillar, right? Yeah, cross the pillar right here. And get close, you just need a little scope right here. 90 degrees. Yeah, I don't think she takes more skill than a lot of supports. And so you can see, I mean, not that really difficult. In my opinion, if I lose to a Scarlet Witch, that is one of the worst losses I can ever fathom. Even if I'm like 99 of 100 into Eternity, almost to Eternity, it's like, okay, oh, I lost it because of thrower. I would rather do that and lose to a thrower on my rank up to Eternity than lose to a Scarlet Witch player. Because it takes, probably in my opinion, the least amount of skill in the game. But do I call DPS the easiest role because, oh, Scarlet Witch is in it, oh, Squirrel Girl's in it, oh, Moon Knight's in it, etc. Do I say all these roles are the easiest because they have easy characters? Tank is harder to pinpoint easy characters. All you can say is maybe Thing. He is pretty easy, but it's a tank still. Tank is definitely the hardest role. I can't really pinpoint or point out any weaknesses, any flaws in their playstyle or any of that, at least major ones like support and DPS. But tank is definitely the hardest role in my opinion. DPS, I know some people say DPS is the hardest. Just know you never play tank. But more so on talking about, I mean, support. People say support is the easiest because healing is more easier than damage, which let me get into that. Sure, if you're talking about, let's say Cloak and Dagger, let's say Rocket, those two are the main two people talk about, right? Well, Rocket, I'll admit, he is probably one of the more easier characters in the entire game. He is mostly right click. The only skill expression you really have is when you hold left click and when you throw the respawn beacon down. Like one game, it's not in my history anymore, was last season, I was playing Rocket Raccoon. It was the Krakoa map, domination map, and I was Rocket. I think my other support was Invis, but that's not really relevant. I had over 5k, almost 6k damage, alongside over 20k healing, one of the highest healings, because I knew how to balance it. Now you might say, well, you might have switched during the match. How do you have 5k damage as Rocket? Well, I didn't switch at all. It's called I knew how to use my left click when I needed to. One season a top 400 Rocket, another season, which was last half season, I was, I believe, a top 200 Rocket in the world. I know how to play his character, I know how to maximize him. While there is some skill expression with him, he is still severely easy. Just like how there is skill expression with, I don't know, Cloak and Dagger, Scarlet Witch, etc. But with Cloak and Dagger, you can't really do damage unless you want to lose because her healing is so slow. Her healing more caters to more, I guess, the heal body, like people used to say and are still saying, more heal bot, whatever. Her playstyle, her auto aim, heavily caters to heal botting. Her bubble, in my opinion, if you're not using it, just place it on the front line. You're supposed to aim at groups of people because your healing one-on-one is tickle healing. It definitely won't impact any matches. Hela can still 2-tap while Cloak and Dagger is pocketing you. Can still 3-tap if they hit your body while you're pocketing them. It's like, okay, that's something. So the Cloak and Dagger playstyle is just healing. Sure, there's some skill expression like quickly switching between forms to dagger to cloak, doing the tear blanket or tear cape, whatever it's called, and quickly switching back to dagger. That's the playstyle for it. Now there are some playstyles where you now can do double cloak. I personally just do double heal because I don't really rely on other people that much because I've heard and experienced very bad stories with that. But getting off of that topic, you can't really DPS. Not only is her range very short in terms of a lot of characters in the game in cloak, but without her healing, her sustained healing, you are putting a lot of workload on your other support. And if it's a rocket, there's other low healing compared to a lot of supports. If it's even a Mantis and Ultron with their low supports, yeah, it's not gonna work. Granted, I've won matches where, let's say I'm Loki. I set up perfectly while my other support is a DPS cloak and we have won matches. Do I say they deserve that win? Probably not. Last season, or even a few weeks ago actually, one of the last games I played of last season, which was 6.0, there's a cloak on my team who kept disconnecting and we're very sorry about it. But I kept the team alive with my solo heals because I knew how to play Loki. I'm a top 50 Loki in the entire world, and I knew how to play Loki in the most opportune and the most optimal ways. So I kept on saying, it's okay, we're still winning. Because she kept disconnecting, and when I saw that, I ulted whenever I could. I kept building out as soon as I could because I was solo healing, and my runes helped me through that. But I think solo healing is one of the worst things in the entire game. You cannot say something is the easiest role when they have the most important responsibility. Now you might say, oh, mechanically it's the easiest. Well, I'll get into that a little after this. Not only is solo heals the worst comp you can have, it puts severe responsibility and things you can't even comprehend back there. You have to heal 4 other people on your team alongside keeping yourself alive. This isn't even talking about dive. If you're getting dove in solo heals, good luck. You're dead. Now, if it's a full team, let's say 5 people and you're solo healing, let's say there's no dive. Let's say the easiest situation, you are any support of your dreams. Mantis, she has 4 leaves, not 5. You're done. Ultron, I mean, his healing's already pretty bad. 2 drones, 5 people, you're done. Cloak and Dagger, sustain is horrible. You're done. My point is, you have all of these responsibilities, but you can't uphold them. Meanwhile, every single other comp is better with 1. If you're running 1 tank, 3 DPS, 2 supports, 3 tanks, 1 DPS, 2 supports, whatever, you need a requirement of minimum 2 supports to even hold up their responsibilities. Triple support, I get people go, oh, it's immortal, oh, you can't beat it. Well, in my experiences through the multiple seasons, which I've documented on this channel, there has been a vast majority of losses with triple support on my team than wins. Same with the enemy, vast majority of losses with triple support than wins. I've shown that with many videos by now. In my opinion, it's not nearly as strong as people think. It's just the popular narrative. And people may say, oh, triple support, oh, you need to include that because it's so broken, and I'm not going to talk about that. Because in my opinion, it's a lot better problem than what people think. People overblow it because it's the popular narrative. Now getting back into my points. Not only does support have the more important responsibilities, but you need a minimum of 2 to even uphold the responsibilities. While you can have 1 tank or 1 DPS, and you can still win games. Now it is true, I have seen games where there's like 5 DPS, 1 support. Yes, I have seen that. And they've made it past like first point in competitive and celestial. And then they ended up getting sold out later on when, you know, we actually held our ground and actually sustained throughout all that damage because they were running like Phoenix, Hela, Hawkeye, every single character, Daredevil, who squeaked through the bans. Because, you know, Gambit had to be a ban and we think I had double bans sometimes. But with DPS, the vast majority of responsibility you have is this: good positioning, aim, which is probably the biggest one, target priority, and damage. damage, and eliminations alongside that, which is pretty simple. You can simplify it to get kills, don't get killed. That's the simplest way you can explain it. Now support, you can say, oh, heal bot win. No, that's not really it. Because that support is also target priority, positioning, when to heal, when to do damage, when to go for picks alongside heals. With Loki, with Mantis, you definitely need to know that. You need to know the balance. Not to mention, every role has different positioning, different responsibilities. Tank, I mean, you're the blunt of the damage. You're at will of your team pretty much, along with support. Along with support and tank getting less points per win and more losses per loss in competitive, while DPS can do the bare minimum and get more points. That's a whole different story. With tanks, you need to choose. Okay, when do I push up? When do I back out? When do I hold space? When do I use my cooldowns on myself, on others? Because, you know, you have to protect them and yourself. When do I go for picks, etc.? They have way more responsibilities than support and DPS do, just that support has the higher responsibility, which requires higher workload. Because your team doesn't instantly collapse if you have one DPS or one tank. My point is, there isn't an easy role. You can go back and forth on this. There has been an argument for each and every single one of them in other games for years upon years upon years. We should just globally agree. Cloak and Dagger, Rocket are one of the easiest characters in the game. Moon Knight, Squirrel Girl, Scarlet Witch are one of the easiest characters in the entire game. Iron Man is one of the easiest characters in the entire game. And that some supports actually need aim, like Mantis, which in my opinion requires more aim than the vast majority of characters in the entire roster, including DPS. Luna, who you can't flick with because she has 3 projectiles, which are very close together, which if you go to the practice range, click it, and swing your mouse to the left or right next to a wall, maybe like 10 meters away, you will see 3 different projectiles, so you can't just flick to people. Her aim is as difficult, if not more difficult, than the vast majority of DPS. Adam, he's as difficult as Hela, but does a lot less damage. Pretty much any hit scan for that matter. And he is a DPS support. Can't aim and left click at his tanks. Like you could maybe make the argument for Luna, oh, she has easier aim because her tanks are in front of her, and they're not as far away as, let's say, the enemy tanks are. So you have to have better aim for a DPS. Sure, that's an argument. You can't say the same for Adam. You can't say the same for Ultron. Ultron is just, you need way better aim than a Punisher. Both of them are tracking. But with Punisher, you can just miss half the shots. Trust me, I have seen Punishers in my own rank in Celestial have around a 30 to 40% accuracy rate. Just the other game when I was a Namor and won, and played half the game as Namor, I had 13 finals. The Punisher on my team had 16, and he had a 27% accuracy rate, if I believe, if I remember correctly. And we won that match with a 27% accuracy rate with my Punisher and a 6-5 win. I mean, with Ultron, you need to follow through during the whole thing, because that burst at the end was where the vast majority of damage comes from. Now, I think you guys get my point, so I won't explain too much. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.